Buenos días, les habla Enrique Sánchez Arredondo desde las oficinas de Extenda en Sevilla. Como saben, Extenda es la empresa pública de la Junta de Andalucía dedicada al apoyo a la internacionalización de nuestras empresas y de la economía andaluza, así como de la promoción de inversiones en Andalucía. Muchos de ustedes conocen ya nuestra actividad, saben que somos proactivos en la identificación de mercados y en la organización de eventos y prestación de servicios para que empresas andaluzas como ustedes puedan abordar con éxito mercados exteriores. Ese es nuestro fin último y lo hacemos por medio de una variedad de servicios, como muchos de ustedes perfectamente saben, servicios de información, por medio de jornadas como esta, servicios de formación, por medio de un programa muy amplio de formación en técnicas de comercio exterior, como también en conocimiento de mercados, actividades promocionales, como pueden ser el apoyar la participación en ferias, como puede ser la organización de misiones comerciales de grupo y también individuales, por medio de visitas a Andalucía de importadores, de prescriptores, de periodistas, y también tenemos servicios de consultoría individualizada. Pienso que todos ustedes conocen, la mayoría de todos ustedes conocen estos servicios bueno, pues lo que intentamos es que cuando una empresa inicia este camino, que con nuestro apoyo pues continúe y que según va abordando mercados, pues podamos ayudarles a consolidar ese recorrido. Hoy tenemos una jornada informativa que hemos organizado pues con mucha ilusión, tanto los compañeros de la Antena EXTENDA de Irán como desde aquí, desde la sede de Sevilla, una jornada dedicada a los productos y los servicios que ustedes, las empresas asistentes que ustedes desarrollan, ¿verdad? Tecnologías relacionadas con la agricultura y también servicios avanzados, ¿verdad? De apoyo a actividades en el sector agrícola y bueno, y sectores conexos de la primera transformación, ¿verdad? Lo que llamamos nosotros las industrias auxiliares de la agricultura, con un énfasis en tecnologías para el sector del olivar, que no tenemos que decir que es un sector en el que Andalucía es puntera internacionalmente. Extenda lleva varios años trabajando ya con Irán y yo creo que prueba de ello es que muchos de los asistentes, de las empresas asistentes, ya nos han indicado que tienen experiencia de algún tipo con ese mercado, con empresas de ese país, con ese mercado. De hecho, son 25 empresas las que están asistiendo, las que se han inscrito hoy a esta jornada, lo cual también nos causa satisfacción porque vemos que hemos acertado, digamos, en continuar el apoyo para que ustedes puedan empezar a trabajar con ese mercado o continuar trabajando con ese mercado, con ese país. Es un país muy interesante dentro del Asia Central, a pesar de las dificultades actuales que a ninguno se nos escapan. Pero aún así consideramos que es un sector con posibilidades para ustedes porque hay necesidad de modernización, como les van a contar nuestros ponentes, y hay necesidad de renovar equipos y también de explotar oportunidades que como van a explicarles los ponentes, existen porque el gobierno de Irán está apostando fuertemente por el sector agrícola, por incrementar su producción. Para ello hemos traído dos ponentes que nos parecen de una categoría, de un nivel excepcional. Son dos profesionales que han trabajado en el sector público y en el sector privado, en el desarrollo del sector agrícola de Irán y que amablemente van a compartir con nosotros un poco de su experiencia y de las oportunidades que ellos perciben. Voy a compartir con ustedes la agenda de la jornada. Con su permiso, cambiamos. Entiendo que están viendo ahora la agenda, ¿verdad? La agenda de lo que es el evento. Bueno, pues tras esta breve presentación mía, va a presentar los servicios de la Antena EXTENDA Irán, Alireza Farrokhzadi, que es nuestro jefe de proyecto, el responsable de este servicio, ¿vale? De esta oficina, que es la Antena EXTENDA Irán. ¿eh? Y Adolfo Romero, que es, Alireza y Adolfo son socios del consorcio ESKZ PARS, que es el adjudicatario de este servicio de EXTENDA, que es la Antena Irán. Tras la presentación de los servicios que les puede prestar la antena, va a hacer su presentación de oportunidades en el sector agrícola de Irán el señor Jahangir Arab, ¿vale? Un experto y analista del sector agrícola, del cual seguramente ustedes han visto en la convocatoria y en las circulares que hemos ido enviando la amplia experiencia que tiene. Esta presentación se va a hacer en inglés, una media hora de presentación, unos 30 minutos. Y a continuación va a hacer su presentación la señora Naghmeh Azizi, también experta y analista para el sector del olivar, bueno, y tecnologías agrícolas, pero con énfasis en el sector del olivar en Irán. La señora Azizi, en fin, a ninguno se nos escapa el momento, la situación en que desde hace 2 años estamos internacionalmente, ¿verdad? La señora Azizi va a presentar desde su casa y quiero que sepan que está un poco indispuesta, pero bueno, aún así, como tenía este compromiso con nosotros, pues amablemente va a hacer la presentación, también la va a hacer en inglés, y le agradecemos el esfuerzo, porque ya nos hacemos cargo de que, en fin, de que va a ser un pequeño esfuerzo para ella. Tras la presentación de la señora Azizi, una breve ronda de preguntas, unos 10 o 15 minutos por parte de ustedes. Van a poder hacer las presentaciones, van a poder hacer sus preguntas por medio del chat. Si pueden ustedes hacer las preguntas en inglés, facilitará un poco la respuesta, porque los dos ponentes pueden ver el chat, ¿vale? Y si no la pueden hacer en inglés, pues las hacen en castellano y nosotros lo traducimos. Finalizando a eso de las 11:30. Les agradecemos la atención. Les agradecemos la confianza. Quiero recordarles que se está grabando la presentación, que en unos días van a tenerla ustedes a su disposición, junto con las presentaciones que van a utilizar los dos ponentes. Y yo creo que por mi parte ya poco más. Le doy paso a mi compañero Alireza, de la Antena Irán, y Adolfo, para que ellos hagan su presentación. Yo siempre voy a estar aquí detrás, pero en este momento ya voy a cortar el micrófono y la cámara para optimizar el ancho de banda, para dejárselo a cada uno de los ponentes. Alireza, Adolfo, cuando queráis.
Bueno, buenos días a todos. Enrique, muchas gracias por la explicación, y también me gustaría dar las gracias a todas las empresas que han participado en este webinario. Es un placer estar con ustedes y bueno, espero que podamos responder, digamos, a las dudas y las preguntas que tenéis acerca de este sector en el mercado de Irán. Voy rápidamente a empezar la presentación de la antena, porque sé que sería mucho más interesante la presentación de los dos ponentes que tenemos. Así que, a ver, la antena de Irán desde hace más o menos un año que está trabajando con Extenda. Bueno, la antena nace de dos consultoras que han tenido mucha experiencia en la zona, en la región, digamos, tanto Asia Central como Oriente Medio, la EXTENDA PARS, la EXTENDA Global y Belganic PARS Consulting, ¿no? Mi socio es Adolfo Romero, y yo soy Alireza Farrokhzadi, el jefe de proyectos de la antena en Irán. Juntamente, pues tenemos más de 10 años de experiencia en la zona y también hemos ejecutado más de 1000 proyectos en la región. Bueno, tenemos oficinas en Kazajistán y también en Irán, pero también cubrimos diferentes mercados como casi todos los países de Asia Central, la zona Cáucaso, en Oriente Medio estamos en Irán, Afganistán, Pakistán e Irak. Los servicios que estamos ofreciendo a las empresas, las que tengan interés en abrir nuevos mercados, sobre todo en el país Irán, pues es como casi todas las antenas que tiene Extenda, ¿no? Creo que todos ustedes ya conocéis más o menos los servicios que ofrece Extenda a las empresas y a los miembros que tiene, que son agendas individuales, tanto agendas presenciales como digamos virtuales. Bueno, hasta este momento solamente hemos hecho una agenda presencial por el tema de COVID, que todos ya sabemos, pero a partir de este año esperamos que las agendas se puedan hacer presencialmente a Irán, porque en principio, pues ya sabemos todos que la rentabilidad de organizar una agenda presencial es mucho más alta, aunque los iraníes y las empresas iraníes también están muy acostumbradas de organizar las reuniones B2B virtualmente. De hecho, bueno, aparte de que he dicho que las presenciales serían igual mejor, pero podría ser un buen inicio hacer las reuniones B2B virtualmente, tomar, digamos, conocer a nuestras empresas de destino, a nuestros clientes y a partir de entonces, una vez que tengamos una relación estable, una relación inicial de comercio, pues podemos viajar a Irán. También tenemos otros servicios como el sondeo de mercado, estudio de mercado, misiones agrupadas inversas y también otros tipos de misiones que, bueno, digamos este año Extenda, pues desde Extenda os vamos a informar sobre las misiones que tenemos para este año. El año pasado hemos hecho 2 misiones y este año creo que también tenemos 2 o 3, si no me equivoco. Pues jornadas técnicas informativas y también, digamos, horas de consultoría por si alguna empresa tiene algún problema o alguna duda y o está haciendo o está negociando, o está trabajando con Irán, con alguna empresa iraní y tiene dudas, tiene problemas a la hora de digamos, de hacer las transferencias, transporte, todo esto nosotros estamos a vuestra disposición para poder ayudar y resolver estos problemas que tenéis, ¿no? La misión que tenemos este año, que creo que podría ser interesante para vosotros, sobre todo de ese sector, es la misión de la industria agricultura en Irán y que seguramente iremos y participaremos en la Feria de Agricultura en Irán en septiembre. Obviamente, tal y como os he dicho, os vamos informando las fechas y, digamos, la manera que organizaremos la misión. Sobre Irán, solamente os puedo decir que Irán es un país, avanzado, la mayoría, bueno, tiene 85 millones de habitantes, es un mercado muy potente, de hecho, yo creo personalmente que es el mercado más potente de la región, la mayoría de la gente es joven, casi 65% de la población tiene menos de 35-40 años, es gente muy bien preparada, muy bien informada, es un país muy seguro, a la hora de viajar a Irán no tenemos que tener ni miedo ni preocupaciones, es un país seguro que podemos ir perfectamente ahí, desplazarnos dentro de las ciudades y en principio también la gente es muy amable y muy hospitalaria, ¿no? Es un país que a la mayoría de la gente le gusta mucho el lujo y es la población, digamos, la gente es consumidora. Y lo bueno que tenemos, la ventaja que tenemos nosotros en comparación con otros países o otros mercados es que a la gente iraní le gustan mucho las marcas europeas, ¿no? Los españoles y las marcas españolas tienen mucha fama en Irán. Y a la gente iraní le gusta mucho trabajar con las empresas españolas, ¿vale? Por tanto, digo que hay muchas oportunidades en este mercado, sobre todo en ese sector. De hecho, que Irán ha tenido muchos problemas como sequía, como las sanciones, etcétera, etcétera. Es el momento adecuado ahora para ir a Irán, hacer negocios y abrir nuevos mercados. Y también tiene, pues, como una cultura milenaria, una cultura muy cercana con nuestra cultura en España. Digo que la gente normalmente, las empresas y la gente española que ha viajado a Irán siempre nos ha dicho que la gente que nunca han sentido extraño en el país, ¿no? Los empresarios iraníes son muy bien preparados, son muy bien informados, por tanto, cuando vamos a hacer negocio con los iraníes y con las empresas de Irán tenemos que estar muy bien preparados, ofrecerles el mejor precio y la mejor calidad. Yo creo que por mi parte ya es suficiente, no quiero robaros más tiempo y creo que sería mucho más interesante escuchar primero al señor Azizi y luego al señor Arab y luego a la señora Azizi. Tal y como ha dicho Enrique, la señora Azizi está enferma, ya ha cogido el COVID, pero bueno, al final como que tenía el compromiso, pues ha participado en ese webinario. Yo también, por mi parte, le doy las gracias a ella y también al señor Arab por haber participado y por estar aquí con nosotros hoy. Muchas gracias y al final de la sesión estaremos a vuestra disposición por si ocurre alguna pregunta o una duda. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Alireza.
De nada.
So, Mr. Azizi, time for your presentation.
Okay.
The floor is your. No, I'm sorry, no, I meant Mr. Arab. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Azizi. It's Mr. Well, according to the schedule, it's Mr. Arab who delivers first. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry. So, Mr. Arab, the floor is yours. If you are ready, whenever you want.
Mr. Sanchez, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Arab, perfectly. Time for your presentation.
It is not problem. If my colleague want to start, for me, no problem.
Excellent. Whenever you want. The floor is yours.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I am Jahangir Arab from Iran. I want to share. No, I want to know it is okay. Do you see the presentation, Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, it's okay, Mr. Arab.
We can see the presentation perfectly, and we can hear you perfectly. 2020.
Good morning, everybody. I am Jahangir Arab from Islamic Republic of Iran. I have more than 40 years experience in various agricultural sectors in Iran. I started my job as an agricultural expert and continued as high expert, director manager, deputy director manager, deputy minister, vice minister, and now I am active in private sector. I am working with international organizations like Codex Alimentarius, ISO, UNDP, FAO, and International Olive Council in Madrid, Spain. And now my main job is technical feasibility study consultant of agricultural sector with excellent ranking license. I want to introduce Iran. Iran is a very big country in Middle East. The area is more than 1,600,000 square kilometers. Iran has population nearly 84 million people. Today, I checked the temperature of 2 points of Iran near Tehran in the mountain for skiing. Temperature is -10, and by 1 hour flight, you arrive to south of Iran. Temperature is 24. It means different area with climatological condition, different. Iranian neighbors country are in the west, Iraq and Turkey, Azerbaijan and Russia and Turkmenistan through the Caspian Sea in the north, and Afghanistan and Pakistan in the east, and Persian Gulf countries in the south. I want to start by Iranian agricultural mission. When we talk about a mission and planning program, in Iran, government through the ministry and president and parliament should be approved every 5 years program. I want to speak about agricultural mission. Two very important points. First, increasing the quantity and quality of the products with the aims of meeting Iran needs and increasing exports. We produce 122 million tons agricultural production. Now it will be organized to increase to 170 million tons by 2026. To promote Iran as a reference and resource of agricultural products, as a hub between countries in the region in 2026. The second mission is increasing the productivity and efficiency factors of production, agriculture, like water, soil, fertilizers, pesticides, hybrid seeds, mechanization, seedlings, through increasing the technical knowledge of the farmer and expert and use the best raw material. When we talk about mission, it is important to have very clear program to reach the mission. The first important products we have organized to increase the production by 2026. It is wheat, barley, corn, grains, cotton, rice, oilseed like canola, like sunflower, like soybean. About fruits, we have organized for increasing citrus, pomegranate, date, grape.
جناب عرب عذرخواهی میکنم صفحتون رو میشه رد کنید بره صفحتون ثابت مونده.
I explained about Iranian situation map. I explained about agricultural mission. Now I am sorry I didn't show the presentation. No, it is okay, Mr. Alireza?
Yes, it's okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. When we talk about planning for reaching the mission, we have organized to increase agricultural products from 122 million to 170 million tons by 2026. When we talk about the planning, the products are very clear. For example, we want to increase wheat, barley, corn grains, cotton, rice, oilseed like soybean and canola and sunflower. About fruit and horticultural production, we have organized for citrus, pomegranate, date, grape, pistachio, olive, walnut, almond, kiwi fruit, especially potato and onion, because we are exporting many of these production, nearly 8 million tons we export. And the second group of production are agricultural, industrial products like sugar beet and another industrial products, fodder production for livestock and poultry feed, about fisheries products, and about vegetable summer products like melon, watermelon, vegetables, about medical plants, and about greenhouse products. Especially greenhouse products, we are going to increase our production nearly 4,500,000 tons in next 5 years. About when we talk about greenhouse production, I will explain what we need, what is important. And the second point of program is about trade. We are going to increase production of agricultural products for exporting. This is very important. Now we export 8 million tons, we are going to increase 11 million tons. And here everything is clear for you. What kind of production we are going to organize for increasing the export. But here I want to explain about the main program. The main program for organizing is chain production, processing of meat products, aquatic products, fruit and vegetable products, oilseeds, dairy products, rice, corn, vegetable and fruits, livestock and poultry, and production of fertilizer. I want to explain about fertilizer here. Nearly every year we import more than 1 million ton phosphorus fertilizer and more than 1 million ton phosphate fertilizer. And I know we import many of them from Spain, directly or indirectly. But when we are going to enter another companies to solve the problem, the keywords are these: supplying raw materials, selling the manufactured products in another market, the weakness of the transportation system, we could solve it, insufficiency of agricultural product chain, lack of the packaging raw material, and cost. Here I want to explain about every of them. When, for example, we explain about the problem of the chain production, we have very important needs to invite another companies to come here. The first, the knowledge of the productivity is very low. For example, as I started for the missions, in mission I explained about the production program and the mission of the product, increasing the productivity and efficiency. The knowledge of the farmers and experts is low. It is one of the key way to enter this market. For example, production for greenhouse is less than 200 kilograms per square meter. And I and all of you know now 400 kilograms per square meter is economic. And because Iran have four climatological conditions, we could import greenhouse for 4 climatological conditions. Very cheap greenhouse, average greenhouse, and expensive greenhouse. We need 4 of them. But how? In next 5 years, we are going to increase greenhouse production nearly 4,500,000 tons. I showed you in last slides how we can produce. In Iran, Parliament has approved to increase 17,000 hectares greenhouse in next 5 years in 4 climatological conditions. We have some climatological condition, very good area, without temperature less than 5-6 in summer, in winter, not more than in 40 in summer. We could produce vegetables and another greenhouse production, not only vegetables, another kind of production, in very cheap in this kind of climatological condition. This and for example, the per kilogram of production for fruit, I want to have an example. In citrus, we produce 15 kilograms per 15 tons kilograms citrus per hectare, average 15-16. But it is easy to increase 30 tons per hectare, and it is a second way to enter to this market. And about another production is nearly the same. Production per square meter or production per hectare is less than 40%, less than average of the world in some production. But the challenge is 3. The first, we have not hybrid seed for increasing productivity of the productions. We import all of the hybrid seeds for vegetable group from another country. Only an example. we import $350 million every year only for 4 products: tomato, pepper, cucumber, melon, and watermelon. We import more than $300 million, 50,000 every year, only for 4 products. It means one of the most challenge for productivity is the hybrid seed. The second about knowledge. When farmers cannot produce average production very acceptable, it means the knowledge is not good. But the best roadmap is to enter to Iran by 3 ways. The first, joint venture contract farming is the very good way, and government will support this way. How? You can come and sign contract with farmers. They have land more than 300 hectares to 1,000 hectares and establish big joint venture to produce very good quality for exporting and good quantity per hectare to increase productivity. The third, to enter very big, to establish big farm for livestock or very big farm for orchard. We have very good area for produce, for example, citrus, olive, walnut, and almond, especially almond. And I know in Spain you have very good varieties of almond. You have good varieties from citrus. And in Iran, we good area for producing this kind of products. And we have good area, good climatological condition with good water, good electricity, gas, and diesel. This another part I want to explain for the cost of production. As only an example, diesel is the price of diesel is 1 cent per liter. The gas 0.7 cent per meter cube. Electricity is 0.5 cent per kilowatt. And the price of the workers, the price of the human workers are very cheap. But where is the problem? Problem, for example, when we use equipment for greenhouse, last 5 years ago, we have not good situation. Before last years ago, the Spanish company were the more important companies in greenhouse sector in Iran. But last 5 years, they missed this market. Now, the equipment, for example, structure, cover, anti-insect net, thermo-screen system, electric system, and fog system, we import from another countries, the quality is not good. Last 5 years ago, no. Before that, we import from Spain, from another countries, the quality was good. It can help to every company come to Iran. But entering to the Iran, you have 3 ways. The first I explained about contract farming with big farmers. The second, import your equipment in Iran and sell directly. The third, establishing very big farm of greenhouse, not like Almeria, but like Alicante, like Murcia. We can introduce very good land with good condition, and government support very clearly this, very clear. The third point about irrigation system. We are going to increase irrigated lands 1 million hectare in next 5 years. It is planned. As I explained, this kind of plan approved by Parliament and government. When we talk about 1 million hectare irrigated land, we need new irrigated system. It is very, very good market. When we talk about mechanization, now we have nearly 2 horsepower per hectare. We have organized to add half minimum 0.5, excuse me one moment, 0.5 horsepower for hectare. It means we need new machinery. But the most important machinery is we have like self-propelled machine, taking device, packaging machines, and another kind of machine to increase mechanization rate.
آقای عرب فکر میکنم که بعد سفر رد بکنید. عذرخواهی میکنم.
یه بار دیگه آقای علیرضا بفرمایید. آقای علیرضا میفرمایید.
بله الان درسته قربان، الان درسته.
Now I want to explain about kinds of support. The main program will be supported by government is transfer of technical knowledge, increase yield per hectare, knowledge for this, supporting to science of increase resilience of agricultural sector against natural and natural disasters like climate change, cold, heat, reducing water consumption per kilogram of production, supporting investment for export products, greenhouse products, processed products of agricultural production, and supporting producing in Iran machinery, fertilizer, pesticides, hybrid seeds, and especially certified seedlings. Nearly we need 10 million ton seedling per year, but it should be certified, means about disease and pests. It is very important for controlling the currency. And legal supports are, we have very clear legal support for the necessary licenses for coming to Iran. Agricultural land is very, very cheap. Agricultural water, gas, electricity, diesel are ready near the land. The Ministry of Agriculture is provided for new companies and legal guarantees for foreign investment. It is, excuse me, it is, you can see my experience here. I explained at the beginning. I want to thank you for your time. Please feel free to contact via WhatsApp, Telegram, email. And I want to thank Spanish Extenda and Iranian representative, Mr. Alireza, and his colleagues to invite me. I am ready for any comments and any questions. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Arab, for your excellent and very informative presentation. With your permission, I'll speak in Spanish for a few seconds to introduce Ms. Azizi, and then it will be Ms. Azizi time. Bueno, pues hemos podido asistir a la interesante presentación del señor Arab, que creo que ha hecho una exposición muy completa de los planes de gobierno, de la visión que tiene el gobierno de Irán de las necesidades en el sector agrícola, de las necesidades, por ejemplo, en los diversos subsectores, en la horticultura, en el grano. Habéis visto que hablan de un deseo de incrementar en cientos de miles de hectáreas la superficie para invernaderos, por lo que hemos podido entender. Con todo lo que eso puede suponer de oportunidades, y ha presentado también, bueno, pues las dificultades que se encuentran muy francamente, y los apoyos que desde el gobierno pretenden dar, así como las facilidades para que puedan acceder empresas extranjeras a ese mercado, que de hecho están ya accediendo, como es la experiencia de muchos de vosotros, y tal como ha expresado el señor Arab, están entrando miles de toneladas de determinados productos ya en Irán desde hace tiempo, lo cual no sé si para vosotros puede ser directamente también una oportunidad, y la necesidad que tienen en general de modernizar. Y ahora vamos a dar entrada a la señora Azizi, que se va a centrar su presentación en lo que sería sector de olivar y oportunidades que puede presentar. Así que con vuestro permiso ahora procedo a hablar en inglés. So, Ms. Azizi, now it's the time. Now it's time for your presentation. So whenever you want, you can. I will share your presentation, and you can begin whenever you want. The floor is yours.
Yes, buenos todos. Thank you so much for the time, and I'm ready to present my information now to all of you. I hope it will be fulfilled for all of you. And at first, I want to apologize because I feel a little bit sick. So about my sound and the power of my sound, I'm so sorry for that. But would you please share my presentation? Yes, thank you so much. Please go to the second page. To the second page, please. Next page. Okay. Iran is one of the countries which grow the olive cultivation during last maybe 15 or 20 years ago, and for this aim and goal, we have so many different organizations and a structure. One of them is in the governmental body. In the Ministry of Agriculture, we have a olive department, which is responsible for growing all the aspects of all field of the olive growing in all around the country. We are a member of the countries in the International Olive Council, COI. And one of the NGO or one of our organization under the Iranian Chamber of Commerce is Iranian Olive Council. The Iranian Olive Council established as a national organization with the cooperation of relevant players in the olive industry in 2008. And as I mentioned before, under the Iranian Chamber of Commerce, and is currently working in a non-political, non-profit, and non-governmental sector with the consensus of provincial olive organizations all around the country. Next page, please. Next page, please. Thank you. Okay. As you see here, I mentioned about the objectives of the Iranian Olive Council, which is organizing the country's olive productions, including olive oil and table olives, organizing country's olive trade, and organizing the country's olive consumptions. And detail of these goals and aims, you will see that the responsibility of the council is for the creating comprehensive olive system.
یه صفحه قرمز آمده فقط بالاش نوشته
Parece, look, it looks like that we lost the sound, Miss Azizi, for a second. Let me see if I can solve this. It seems that we stopped listening to hearing you. Let me check. Let me check. Okay. Convertir en presentador. Okay. Miss Azizi, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes.
don't know what's happened. Yes, I don't know what's happened to this one.
I'm sorry, we lost the sound for a few seconds. You were talking about the objectives of the Iranian Olive Council.
Yes, yes. As I mentioned, the details of the goals and aims of the Olive Council organization in the country. Next page, please. Next page, please. Okay. I want to explain my presentation in three categories: olive cultivation, olive products, and olive industries. Next page, please. Next page, please. Okay. About the olive cultivation, as I mentioned before, olive grow in about 26 provinces of Iran, among the 32 provinces we have. And the remaining provinces that we cannot grow the olive is because of the climate condition, but we have the opportunity to grow the olives in 26 provinces, and there are good potentiality for olive growing in all provinces. The new approach the country is to develop intensive and super intensive olive cultivation. So we need the tools and the new technology for olive growing. In agriculture, at the first we have only 4,500 hectares, but according to the general plan of the country, now we reach to almost about 100,000 hectares. Of course, a little bit lower than 100,000 hectares, but we reach to this goal, and we have the opportunity to grow the olive cultivation up to 200,000 or maybe 205,000 hectares in the future. We have the potentiality because of the feasibility study and studies related to grow the olive in all the provinces was studied by some of the consultant companies, and of course some of the olive experts from Spain visited this potentiality and approved that the possibility of growing olive in Iran. So according to the plan to reach to the goal for the cultivation of olive in all around the country, we establish the olive nurseries, and we have the potentiality to produce high quality olive young plants all around the Iran. And it seems that the cost of the producing of olive young plant is about 1/3 of the world price, but we need to import some technologies and some information, data, know-how from some developed country in order to increase the quality and the quantity of the olive young plant in Iran. But we have the opportunity to export part of our olive young to the other countries. Next page, please. Next page, please. Okay. About the olive products, as you know, there are two main products for the olive products: olive oil and olives. We calculated and that there is the needs for the 20,000 tons demands for the market now in Iran, and half of this amount could be supplied from the import from the other countries, and the main to Iran is Turkey, Spain, Italy, and the remain from the other countries. But you can see the share of the Spanish companies to the olive oil market in Iran in the diagram that I showed you. And about the table olives produce more than our demand and it could be exported. But according to the climate conditions from last 2 years, now we face with the shortage of that. This is the first time that the government decided to limit the export of the table olives to the other countries. But we are one of the main producers of table olives in our regions. Next slide, please. Next page. Next page, please. Okay. For the olive markets, I show you the strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats for this market. For the strengths, olive have an important role in Iranian culture because Iranian people believe that the olive oil, especially olive oil, has a good effect on the healthiness, and they prefer to use and consume the olive oil in their daily cookings and daily foods. About the weakness, I can mention that the low consumption, mainly because of the high price of the olive oil and table olives, affect to the consumption of the Iranian people of the olive products. In case of opportunities, you can see that olive production is not sufficient, so we need to import the especially olive oil to Iran, to the Iranian market. And the most important threats for the market is the exchange rate for the importer, because the exchange rate normally changes daily, so it creates some loss for the exporter and importer, both of them. And for the administrative bureaucracy that will affect to this market especially. The other threat is fraud, because as we import mainly the bulk olive oil, it seems that in some cases it might cause some fraud in the olive oil, because they might be mixed with a lower quality of olive oil in Iran. And the other problem is the packaging, that it is because we need to know the new types of the packaging machineries in Iran. We face with the shortage of the especially colored bottle in Iran, and it's too expensive. These are the opportunities also for the market, but in other case we face with the problem in this case. Next page, please. Okay. As you know, edible oil is very important category in terms of household expenditure in Iran, that the cost of the olive oil in the household expenditures nowadays is about 80 euros, because if you exchange the rate of the euros to the reals, it's too expensive for Iranian families to provide the olive oil for their cookings, for their daily consumptions. Olive oil consumptions, among other edible oil, is low. Per capita consumption now is about 130 grams, and the total consumption of olive oil will reach to about, we assume that we will be about 18,000 tons per year, and the remain will be, we keep in the stock, mainly remain in the stock for the next year. Next page, please. Okay. About the olive oil, we have 141 olive processing industries. We have 500 tons and 1,000 tons nominal capacity all around the countries. For the importing procedures, you may, all the exporter in Spain should pay attention to the procedure for the exporting oil to Iran. We import the olive oils under the tariff codes number 1509, 1510, which the tariff, cost of the tariffs is 55%, and under the code of the 1509, 1090 is about 26, which is the extra virgin olive oil. For the extra virgin olive oil, the tariff numbers cost will be less. For the importing process, the exporter should do some activities as an inspection at the origin, and our embassy in Madrid should certify the contract. Oil analysis in the origin is necessary. Cost of transferring money also is the other things that everyone needs to pay attention. Sampling in the board, when the oil arrives to each board of Iran, again we need to do the sampling, and custom duties and cost of analysis in the destination. According to the situation because of the COVID, it seems that it becomes double, because we need to do the inspection and sampling at the origin and at the destination. Next page, please. Next page, please. Okay. Also, every company needs to do some extra activities as the registration of the source. The Ministry of Health and Medical Education is the responsible authority for the foodstuff. In order to import any kind of food, the foreign manufacturer must be registered within the Food and Drug Organization (FDO) in Iran. Any kind of licensed health certificate for the product may facilitate the market access of the goods. So it takes a little bit time in order to register the source of the company in Iran. Next page, please. Next page, please. Okay. For designated olive oil, an additional import approval is to be obtained from the FTO. Prior to their release onto the Iranian market, imported olive oil should be documentary checked, and as the case may require physical inspection and sampling, taking and analysis procedures. After successful inspection, the olive oil will release through customs and receive a marketing authorization, which is prerequisite for placing the product on the Iranian market. Next page, please. For the case of olive oil, the other certificate should have to be presented either for the product's registration or for its actual custom release. For example, laboratory results declaring that the product is fit for human consumption, or certificate of free circulation in the country of export. Additional certificate may be mandatory. Example, a sanitary certificate for foodstuff of animal or plant origin. Next page, please. Also, a label must be written in Persian, and there are a number of labeling requirements for the foodstuffs on the Iranian market that must be followed. Details required are listed. Some of listed are here. For example, product and brand name, trademark, net weight, origin and the name of the oil, if applicable, name and address of the manufacturer, special storage, transportation, and preparation instructions, if applicable, ingredients and additives, it is necessary, nutritional information, country of origin, production and expiry dates on the origin labels of the packages and container. No additional stickers are allowed. Next page, please. Taxation and custom. In order to protect our own sector, Iranian has high taxation rate on olive oil in bottles, about 60%, as compared to the olive oil in bulk, 20%. It is recommended to the companies looking for local packaging as partner in the country. Next page, please. For the distribution normally done through the independent groceries, but the role of hypermarket and supermarket is growing. As you see in the two photos, there is a small groceries that distribute or sell the olive products in their market, also through the hypermarkets. Hypermarket, I don't want to mention as a name or brand of the market, any kind of hypermarket. So for the distribution, each company need to make a big contract, as you all may be aware of that, like the other countries, in order to sell the products. Next page, please. About the olive industries, we have shortage of machineries for the olive oil and table olives. Most of them, almost all of the machineries for the extraction olive oil and producing table olives imported from the other countries, especially from Turkey and Italy. And we need to maybe to grow and renew some of the machineries which are very old in the country. And we need to import the know-how for the and machineries for the olive waste, waters, refineries from the Spain or other countries. And also we need some tools and machineries for the olive garden, olive farms, which until now all of them done traditionally by hand. And this is a good potentiality and possibility to enter to this market now. But the price is very important, of course. I suppose my presentation will be finished now. Next page, please. Yes, many thanks for your kind attention. I'm at your service if you have any question. Next page, please, is my contact information. If anybody needs to ask any question, feel free to contact me. So let me know if there is any question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Azizi, for your interesting presentation. My apologies for the delay in passing the slides, because it seems there is some type of delay when sharing presentations. So my apologies for that. So it's time for
no problem.
Thank you. It's now it's time for the question and answer session, about 15 minutes until 11:30. With your permission, Mr. Arab and Mr. Azizi, I will speak in Spanish now to explain to the attendees how this will work. They will post their questions through the chat. The chat, if you want to open the chat, you only have to depress on the lower right button, which is in purple color, and you will see a cloud. One of the buttons at the bottom is a cloud. If you press on the cloud, you can access the chat system. So I will ask the attendees to post their questions that way, and we will translate them for you. So I'm speaking in Spanish now. Bueno, pues después de agradecerle a la señora Azizi su presentación, es el momento para las preguntas. ¿De acuerdo? Si quieren ustedes plantear preguntas, pueden hacerlo por medio del sistema de chat. El sistema de chat, si ven ustedes en la pantalla, tenemos abajo a la derecha un botón color púrpura o morado, como quieran ustedes, o lila, en el que si pulsan verán que aparece un menú por la derecha, ¿verdad? Y aparecen abajo unos botones. Si pulsan en el botón, que aparece una nubecita, entran en el sistema de chat. Y por ahí, entrando en todos, pueden plantear las preguntas. Y aquí tenemos la primera pregunta que plantea Ignacio Rojas, la plantea en inglés. So we have the first question now. I don't know, Mr. Arab and Mr. Azizi, can you see the chat system and the questions? Because there is a question in English by Mr. Ignacio Rojas. Can you see the chat system?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Let me read it anyway. Hello, everybody. I am Ignacio Rojas from AGQ Labs International. We are an international technological center based in chemistry, and we are focused in agriculture and food security. In the past, we had some experience with the Iran market, and we faced the problem that we couldn't export the samples from there to Spain to be analyzed. Is there any way to send the samples to Spain? So this is the first question. Any of you, Mr. Arab or Mr. Azizi?
It is about olive oil. It is better my colleague explain.
As I understand, they face with the problem of the samples from the Spain. They need to send the to Iran, or they want to sell the oil, are faced with the sampling oil in the country, or in our country, or in your country, please make it clear.
Let me explain this
they
for
need
you.
to send the sample from Iran to Spain.
That's right. That's right. Because they are a sample analysis company, so they try to help Iranian producers, and so they offer the chemical analysis service, and to do that they pick up the samples in Iran, and they have to send them to Spain because their laboratories are based in Spain, and they perform the analysis in Spain. So they have to send the samples from Iran to Spain, and it seems that that's difficult.
I don't think so, because in the I'm engaged with the olive sector all around the Iran, and about the sending the sample from Iran to Spain. Normally, it depends to the company or to the people who wants send the sample. There is different ways to arrange for that. I didn't face with such things as a big problem, because the carrier companies can do the job, and also there is the other informal ways in order to send the samples by some visitors or by some other peoples to the Spain. But the most important things is that if it is because of the Iran, our Ministry of Health should accept the result of the analysis of the Spanish laboratory in Iran, and this is the most problem, of course.
Enrique, yo voy a añadir una cosa a Ignacio. Ignacio, muchas gracias por tu pregunta. A ver, en principio se puede mandar muestras desde Irán a cualquier país del mundo, ¿vale? Pero depende de la cantidad. Si nos pudieras decir exactamente la cantidad que ellos os querían mandar, eso sería de gran ayuda, porque en principio las aerolíneas sí que, bueno, ellos pueden desde Irán mandarlo a través de las empresas aerolíneas que existen. Y nosotros hemos recibido diferentes tipos de muestras en Irán sin ningún problema.
Sí, Ignacio está aclarando que son muestras de suelo, de agua y de oliva, de lo que son los frutos. No sé si sobre esto, Alireza, tienes idea de posibles dificultades digamos, enviar
muestras. Mira, en principio desde Irán no hay ningún tipo de impedimentos. Lo que pasa es que igual el problema podría venir de España y de la aduana de España a la hora de despacharlo. Pero digo que para mandar muestras desde Irán no hay problema. Si quieres, Ignacio, luego podemos hablar en privado y aclarar tus dudas y preguntas.
Perfecto. Siguiente pregunta, de la empresa Torrent, Juan Carlos Vargas. So, next question from the Torrent company, Mr. Juan Carlos Vargas. Hello, I represent a company that produce closures for olive oil. The question is, there are two questions. Olive oil consumption in Iran is in small tabletop bottles or in large 5-liter carafes? And the second question, are there olive oil bottling companies in Iran, or is the production exported from Iran in bulk? So, any of you?
Okay, as it is referred to the olive oil, for the as I understand correctly about the packed olive oil, if they are looking for a company in Iran, I can help them to find if there is any company or any people here to seek for the packed olive oil. But normally Iranian companies, packaging companies, and the producer, the olive oil, prefer to import the olive oil in bulk, but I may find some companies or some people in some special zones that they prefer to import the bottled olive oil to sell in the country. I can help in that case according to the member of the Iranian Olive Council. And about the second question, he asked, olive oil consumption in Iran is in a small tabletop bottle or in the large 5 liters? No, people in Iran prefer to buy a little one, such as, for example, half a liter, 1 liter. Is they most prefer, but it depends to the cost of the olive oil. If it costs properly, they may buy a maximum 3 liter in packed in bottle, not 5 liter. And as according to the law and regulation, the 5 liter packaging is forbidden here because it costs it affect on the category of the healthiness of the oil. And the next question, as may see, are there olive oil bottle companies in Iran or production exporter in bulk? I explained that most of the Iranian companies prefer to import the olive oil in bulk, but we may find some bottled one.
Yes. In this case, the Torrent
Yes.
company. In this case, the Torrent company is in the packaging business. So they are part of the packaging. They help companies. They try to help companies in Iran to better package their bottles and their products. So what they sell are closures for closing the bottles, actually. So they're looking for manufacturers for packagers of olive oil, so that they can offer them their closure systems. But it's very nice of you to offer your help, Ms. Azizi, so that they can find those
Yes.
producers. It's very kind of you. Next
Yes.
question
Yes.
from the company Spanish Olive Technology. This company, they are consultants in the olive technology. They help companies and they help growers to increase their productivity and the quality of the products. And their question is there any kind of financial help, financial aid for importing any items related to the olive sector? Any support for local promoters interested to import technology in the 2026 plan?
Yes, of course, the government support and help the growers for change the traditional systems to the most development and high technology. When they may pay some subsidies, but it seems that a little bit is difficult nowadays, because the most important to use such a technology in the olive garden is the cost of the tools and technologies in the garden. If it is be proper, and the people and the grower can tolerate such a cost for their business in order to do the economical business for the olive sector, they may welcome to such a suggestion. But this company, I suggest to send a formal letter to the Iranian Olive Council to introduce themselves and their potentiality and the cost of the products. And the council for sure will help and support the company in order to enter to the market and introduce the best I mean, people or grower or farmers who are seeking for such things in the market. They will help them, of course.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks for your informative answer, Ms. Azizi. Okay, it seems that there are no more questions now. What I can see through the chat system is that Mr. Arab, for instance, was trying to make clear that sending samples from Iran to Spain, there should be no problem. Same as my colleague Alireza commented. Mr. Vargas from the Torrent company is thanking the answer by Mr. Azizi, and so far it looks like there are no further questions. We have some minutes now, so if any company wants to pose a question, now is the time. Let me explain this in Spanish also. Bueno, pues las preguntas que había en el chat hasta ahora pues se han contestado. Como tenemos todavía un par de minutillos o tres, las empresas que queráis plantear preguntas, pues todavía estáis a tiempo. Comentaros que desde Extenda estamos planteando, junto con nuestra Antena Irán, el organizar una misión comercial a Irán, quizá para después de verano, quizá para septiembre, de forma que podéis ofrecer vuestras tecnologías y vuestros servicios a productores, que podáis encontrar socios y también poder reuniros, bueno, pues en la medida de lo posible con representantes del gobierno que expliquen las necesidades que tienen, ¿no? Y verse cómo podréis vosotros apoyar el desarrollo de estos sectores con vuestros servicios y vuestros productos. Tenemos que concretar la fecha, pero pensamos que sería hacia el final de septiembre, ¿verdad? Hay una feria de productos de alimentación, la agrofood, pero es de productos más que de tecnologías. Entonces no estamos muy seguros de si habría que organizar la misión, digamos, en paralelo a esa feria o si, en fin, hacerla independientemente. Os comentaré también a las empresas andaluzas que tenemos programada una misión para otro mercado de la región, que es el mercado de los Emiratos Árabes, para ofrecer tecnologías auxiliares de la agricultura también en septiembre. Quizá, en fin, tendremos que verlo, tendremos que confirmar, pero quizá la idea sería visitar un mercado y después a las empresas que quisieran visitar el otro. También aquí tenemos que tener en cuenta la situación de la pandemia. Entiendo que en Irán la situación ahora mismo no es muy buena. Tenemos que ver cómo se desarrolla de aquí a septiembre por ver si efectivamente se puede entrar. En este momento no se puede entrar, empresas extranjeras no se están concediendo visados en este momento puntual. ¿De acuerdo? Pero eso no, pero es algo un poco excepcional por lo que sé. Esto es algo en lo que tenemos que trabajar con los compañeros de la Antena Irán y ver las posibilidades de hacerlo presencial y si no es posible, pues pasarla a misión online, tal como varios de vosotros ya sabéis que hemos hecho el año pasado. No sé si quieres añadir algo, Alireza, al respecto.
No, Enrique, gracias. Todo perfecto y lo has explicado perfectamente. No sé si Adolfo quiere decir algo.
Adolfo, si quieres decir algo, es tu momento. Te voy a dar voz, ¿de acuerdo? De acuerdo. Creo que ya tienes activo el micrófono, Adolfo, si quieres comentar algo.
Sí, nada, simplemente agradeceros a todos vuestra participación. Estoy encantado de haber visto tantas empresas conocidas y nada, animaros a que sigáis intentando entrar en Irán porque hay muchísimas oportunidades. No tengo más que añadir. Espero que hayáis pasado una buena jornada con nosotros y los invitados. Gracias.
Bueno, pues por nuestra parte, cerrar también la jornada. Permitidme, los andaluces, por un momento que me despida en inglés de los ponentes. So it seems that there are no further questions. So it looks like we might be closing the session. We want to thank again our speakers, Ms. Azizi and Mr. Arab. their kind attention to us this morning and the information they have provided. We have explained to the companies from Andalusia, from our region, the region in southern Spain where we work, we have explained that there's a chance that we will be organizing a trade mission to Iran next September. We will have to see if the health conditions and the pandemic, the situation in Iran allows us to take the plane and to visit for 1 day the country and arrange meetings of companies from southern Spain with importers, with manufacturers, distributors, with government, with consultants, with potential partners. We hope that we will be able to do that next September potentially. If it's not possible, we'll do that online, same as we did last year. So thanks again for your time, and the information you have provided us with. We are sure that it will be very, very useful for all.
Yes, thank you. Also, I want to thank a lot for the participants in the meeting, and I hope the information could help them to decide to do the business with Iran. And I am ready to answer any questions if they all have in my email or in WhatsApp or through your company in anywhere. And I wish to see you next September in Iran for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Azizi. Okay, look, yes, go ahead.
Sanchez,
go ahead.
Mr. Sanchez, do you hear me?
See, we can hear you, Mr. Arab. Go ahead.
I want to thank Spanish EXTENDA and Iranian representative, especially Mr. Alireza and Mr. Sanchez, to organize this useful meeting. I hope it was good information for participants. I am ready to answer any question, to help any company have any question for investment in Iran or for importing and exporting to Iran and from Iran. Thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Enrique, solamente voy a decir una cosita sobre la misión que hemos mencionado. En principio es para abril, ¿vale? Lo que tenemos en septiembre es de alimentación. La misión agrícola es en abril, pero solamente tenemos que concretar la fecha.
Sí, Alireza, gracias. Tenemos que verlo porque, tal como hemos comentado, hay otra misión a la zona y a lo mejor es eficiente intentar coordinar las dos. Es algo que tenemos que ver internamente. La intención está ahí, desde luego, y hay que tener en cuenta también la situación sanitaria, ¿no? Es decir, esto tenemos que ver si se puede hacer presencial o si tendremos que pasarlo online. Si se hace online, a lo mejor esto facilita que las fechas sean más flexibles. Si se hace presencial, bueno, es algo que tenemos que ver internamente.
Vale, de acuerdo. Si me permites, también voy a decir las gracias a los señores en persa, ¿vale? خانم عزیزی، جناب آقای عرب، خیلی لطف کردید در این وبینار شرکت کردین. خانم عزیزی، واقعا از شما سپاسگزارم با توجه به اینکه کووید هم داشتین و بیمار بودین، لطف کردین و منت نهادین. خیلی ممنونم، در خدمتتون هستیم. ان شاءالله در روزهای آینده با هم دیگه صحبت خواهیم کرد. خیلی ممنون ازتون.
خیلی ممنون از شما. سلامت باشین. خدا نگهدار.
خدا نگهدار.
منم تشکر میکنم. خدا حافظ شما باشه.
خدا حافظ شما. Bueno, también bueno, por parte de la antena de Irán, quiero dar las gracias a todas las empresas que han participado en este webinario. Ha sido un placer. Estamos a vuestra disposición para lo que necesitéis. Preguntas, dudas, problemas, lo que sea, ¿vale? Podéis estar en contacto con nosotros a través de Extenda y nosotros en breve pues responderemos a las preguntas que tengáis. Muchas gracias, un saludo para todos.
Muchas gracias, Alireza, por la colaboración. Muchas gracias.
A ti, Enrique, gracias.
Gracias. Thanks to everyone. Gracias a todo el mundo y con esto damos por finalizada la presentación. Gracias. Hasta la vista.